Hello everyone, it's Sokol and I'm here with another debunk. This is actually about Jujutsu Kaisen rant and it's Maki is terrible. Maki, in my opinion, is one of the greatest characters within JJK. So obviously I disagree with this and I was going to go over the video and basically debunk it as you probably clicked on the title and the thumbnail for. But to give credit where credit's due, this video is by The Realist. I actually reacted to and debunked another video he had called like Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 is overrated trash. Not the best arguments of the video. I really disliked it. And I was looking through his channel and I found another one that I really disliked. So we're here. We're going to jump into this. But before we do, I want to let everyone know that this will contain spoilers of the manga. So anime onlys. You can't really watch this because you don't know enough about Maki yet. So get out of here. For everyone who's ready, let us begin.
Naoya is the father of the head of the fuck is it? I just forgot what the clan's called. Bro.
Okay, first couple issues here right off the bat. First, I know pot, meat, kettle, and everything, but even though my mic is bad, I at least try to do something to make it as decent as I can with what I have, even in post-production. So, bro, you just gotta work on something. But the second thing is, one thing I want to make note really quickly here, and it's primarily due to the reason because I believe that he hasn't actually fully read or watched JJK. I don't think so. And the reason, one piece of evidence I have right here, is not remembering the name of the Zenin clan. Everyone who's watched it knows the Zenin clan. I mean, Toji Zenin. It's in his last name. Maki Zenin. The Zenin clan is like one of the great big three. It's, for example, it's like someone tells you they've watched Naruto, but they don't remember the Uchihas. You know what I mean? It's like, that's kind of a big part to the story. It's yeah, you'd probably question if they watched it. And it was something I want to make note because I think the reason he has a lot of mistakes in his videos and why it's pretty easy to debunk his videos is because he hasn't actually read or watched the manga or the anime. So just to keep that in mind.
He wants to become the head of Zenin clan. What happens? What happens to him? Megami is now the head due to something that we didn't know about, and it happened last second. Okay.
Yes. So what he's talking about right here is how so Naoya was actually next in line to be the head of the Zenin clan after his father died. He's the youngest of three siblings, but because of his strength and curse technique and whatever, he was next in line. However, it's revealed that Toji, and this isn't really out of character. It's not really. It's brought up last second, sure, but it's not out of character or unfeasible to know. So we all know that Toji is a gambler. He gambles. His first introduction was him. He gambled on mainly races, horse races, boat races. He's a gambler. That's essentially what he does. Well, he made a gamble with the previous head of the Zenin clan, and he made the insane bet that if anything happens to Gojo, such, it says it right here, being incapacitated or for what reason, then his son, Megami, would become the head of the Zenin clan. Of course, this was deemed impossible. No one thought that anything would happen to Gojo, so the former head of the Zenin clan, also being a drunk and kind of a gambler himself, accepted the deal. Because what an easy deal. Like, it would never happen. Well, lo and behold, Kenjaku managed to pull it off, and Gojo was sealed, meaning that in his will, out of something no one expected to happen, Megami became the head of the Zenin clan. Brought up last second, of course, but not out of the realm of possibility, since we know the personality of the former head of the Zenin clan and Toji as well.
I'll find out. He's trying to get back. He's trying to kill Megami and Yuji for what happened. That's fine. He fails, but then because Gege likes to villainize his characters so badly, we found out that he apparently in his childhood he was a bully to Maki, right? And now I think we know where this is going, right?
Okay. So one thing he said immediately that kind of it's weird to say. It's saying that here, keep in mind the timeline of his statements. A, because Megami is the head of the Zenin clan, Naoya wants to kill Megami to gain ownership or being the leader of the Zenin clan. And then after that, then he mentions after the fact that Gege, after the fact, after that he wanted to kill Megami, and Yuji villainized him. He was villainized the moment his intentions were made clear. He was a villain at that moment. For some reason, in his mind, Naoya wasn't villainized until the Maki things came up. But this is weird. The moment he came up initially was to kill Megami and Yuji, and he wanted to do this for power, for a corrupt reason, in order to gain leadership of the clan. That is a villainous action from the get-go. His introduction was villainous, antagonistic in nature.
Now, what gets outrageous is Gege first villainized Naoya for this, and now Gege is villainizing Naoya not for anything in particular, because of a high school playground beef. And now,
okay, the next point he has is that he doesn't believe Naoya is villainous in nature because he was just trolling Maki. It was some elementary school, trash talk. He maybe like pushed her shoulder and called her ugly, every now and then. Reading it this way is so wrong. Naoya is a scumbag. Let alone relationships with other people. He doesn't even have a relationship with his own family. His father died, and all he saw it was as a meal ticket for him to become leader. He hates his brothers. He views downly on them because they're weaker than him. And above this, Naoya is the embodiment of the worst aspects. He's the personification of the worst aspects of the Zenin clan. And keep in mind, Maki was abused by the Zenin clan. This is for a couple of reasons. One is that the Zenin clan values curse techniques. The stronger a curse technique you have, the more valued you are within the clan. The weaker you have it, so the less you're valued. So even though Mai has a curse technique, because her curse technique is so weak, she was viewed down upon. Another thing they view down upon is for twins. We'll go into that depth of that later, like why they look down upon twins, because it goes into a concept that he doesn't really understand later. But the last thing that they look down upon is women. They're a sexist clan. Women are nothing but objects, things for the men of the clan to utilize. And Maki, obviously, being a twin, having no cursed energy because of her heavenly restriction, and being a woman, had it the worst of all. There's literally no lower that you can go. And because of this, she was abused by the clan. If we think about Toji didn't have any cursed technique or didn't have any cursed energy, but he was still a man. But even that, he was tortured by the Zenin clan by being put in a room with curses and being forced to fend for his life. Not only is Maki in the same position as Toji, but she also is a woman, so she gets it way worse than that. We'll get into how horrible of a human being he is, but Naoya, obviously being the personification, treated Maki and her family the worst out of anyone in the entire clan. She hates the clan, of course, but she hates Naoya just as much.
He gave Naoya like a backstory of like wanting to impress his father, and then he also wanted to see Toji's miserable face. Like Naoya sees his face, and he sees Toji as a stone cold killer. Now from this,
okay, a couple of things to note from here. Naoya did not want to impress his father. Naoya could not have cared less for his father. All he wanted was his position. But this cements the fact that Naoya was like the rest of the Zenin clan, is just terrible. Because he had a strong curse technique and he had a technique, he viewed himself as having the right to become the leader of the Zenin clan and looked down upon anyone who didn't have curse technique, was a woman, or both. And the reason he came to find Toji was actually to see Toji's face. He wondered how pathetic could a man with no curse technique look. He wanted to go there to mock him, to ridicule him. Of course, he had to learn the hard way that Toji is not a man to be ridiculed. He is insane. But this goes to show that the Zenin clan is horrible because although yes, Naoya wanted to ridicule him, the whole clan ridiculed him the same way Naoya came here. Because obviously Naoya is the personification of the ideals and traditions of the Zenin clan. Obviously, they look down upon Maki this way. In fact, even Maki's own parents, her mother, her father tried to kill her and her sister. So it's just more fuel on the fire to why it's like, this isn't just a nice clan. He's not just maybe like an anti-hero or whatever. No. The Zenin clan and Naoya in turn are antagonistic and evil and immoral. So I don't know where he gets this idea of him, being forced to be a bad guy, or Maki having playground beef. There's just so much evidence within the story. Of course, if you've read the story, you would know this, but it gets worse from here. Don't even worry.
Maki probably hates fucking Toji's guts, right? Do I need to explain what Toji has done to the Jujutsu Society, right? Toji's done a lot.
Maki doesn't hate Toji. Maki probably doesn't even know. I mean, other than seeing his puppet form in Shibuya, Maki doesn't know who Toji is. Most of there's only a few people who actually know who Toji is and know what his actions have done to Jujutsu Society. Maki doesn't care about Toji. Toji never crosses Maki's mind.
The person that is meant to be the second coming of Toji probably despises him, doesn't know him, and Gege tries to push this narrative so hard. So with this being pushed, and even Naoya says himself,
yeah, let him
you're
finish.
not Toji. And
okay. So what he's trying to say is Gege is trying to force the connections between Maki and Toji. Again, not really. Maki doesn't know Toji. Toji doesn't know Maki. They don't even have the same... I mean, maybe they have the same upbringing and the same hatred for the Zenin clan, but other than that, they are very different characters. They don't have the same mindsets. They don't have the same mentality. They don't have the same view of friendship, of love, of whatever. There's only two things I could really link them to. One is their upbringing, and two, this is actually the main connector for why their upbringing are the same, is just that they're heavenly restricted. Other than that, there's not a connection between them. Obviously, they both have heavenly restriction that gives them their upbringing, and because they have the same power, they also are relative in strength. Not at this point in the series, but eventually Maki does become a fighter equal to Toji's strength, but that is due to heavenly restriction. Other than heavenly restriction, they aren't linked in any other way.
We have Maki because, she's the good guy, so the good guy's got to win. This is some Avengers level writing, so the bad guys have to lose because maybe they might have some redeeming plot.
Dude, anyone who's read JJK, especially with the recent chapters, the good guys winning is a hope and a dream that the fans are hoping for. In fact, it's kind of the opposite within the recent chapters. It almost feels like as though the villains are getting plot armor, because I won't get too much into it, but oh my goodness, we wish for some of our favorite characters, we wish this was the case. JJK is not one of the stories to be disrespected that they force their characters to stay alive. No, they do not. It is one of the few stories that commits to fan favorites just going without even completing their storyline. It's cruel, but it also keeps you on your toes. It's something I actually kind of like. I don't know.
The good guys have to win, the bad guys have to lose. So then what happens? We could do a little quiz here. Gege writes the story of how it's meant to be. maybe maybe Naoya doesn't die and he loses, but he gets some character progression. Or Gege goes with the best route possible because this is
Okay, so he really likes Naoya, and he felt that Naoya shouldn't have died, and that his character should have progressed. There's he says that's how the story should have gone. He's giving a direct, a should statement, a descriptive statement, like this should have happened. This was the correct way to go. I disagree. Naoya, I've said this 100 times already, but it's because this is like the main criticism he has for Naoya is that he doesn't view him as the embodiment of the Zenin clan, and the Zenin clan is immoral and viewed as evil. And Maki hated the Zenin clan and hated what they did to her and how they treated her and what they did to her sister. And Naoya, being the embodiment of that, had to be defeated and killed. Well, actually, he wasn't killed by Maki, but he was defeated by Maki and killed by Maki's mother. But Maki killed her mother too, anyways. It was complete revenge. That's exactly what she got it. And killing Zenin was the completion. Sorry, killing Naoya Zenin was and the Zenin clan was the completion of her story. If Naoya survived, like and he just like started getting a different character development, it wouldn't have finished Maki's story in a meaningful way and in an impactful way. In fact, a criticism I have is that I really didn't care for Naoya to be kind of come back as a cursed spirit. I thought his death here was appropriate. I thought it was very well done. That was the end of the story, but because it could have been any really strong curse or really strong opponent that would have forced Maki to unlock the precognition. It's not bad that it was Naoya, but it didn't have to be. His story had a perfect finish, a perfect conclusion right here. Saying that he should have lived to have more character development shows a little bit of, well, obviously not reading the story, but a little bit of literacy comprehension issues.
he paints Naoya as this horrible person when he was a child, and because children have all the intellect in the world, right? Because they clearly know what they're doing when they bully random children in the playground. So he made Naoya be a bully when he's a kid, and now he made some little jokes.
Again, little jokes. And he's praising his actions like, oh, it was things he did as a little kid. There's no way he could possibly hold these beliefs when he's older. Well, first of all, a lot of people develop their beliefs, their traditions, their moral compasses based off of their growing up environments. This is why generally people tend to have the same moral compasses as their parents or whoever they've lived with. Secondly, he has shown this to be the case because when he sees Maki come back burned, he only valued her for her beauty, of course. But once he saw that Maki was burned, he basically called her worthless. That no curse technique, and now no one will want to marry you. You might as well Control Alt Delete yourself. So these values stayed with him throughout his entire life, and it was statements like that aren't just playground bullying. That is extreme sexism and extreme prejudice. So this is. I just don't understand how he doesn't see him as just a horrible antagonistic villain, which clearly he is meant to be.
Maki absolutely destroy him from the bullshit power she got. Keep in mind, how does
okay, he's going on to the next point already. The heavenly restriction outlines, they make perfect sense. Heavenly restriction, obviously, in exchange for your cursed energy, you're given physical prowess. The inverse is obviously true. Mechamaru had the inverse, where if you give away your body, you have high cursed energy outputs. But there's another thing within the JJK universe where it's saying in order to gain something, you must give something. A good example is Nanami, giving away 20% of his power, so operating at 80% of his strength throughout his work days. And then for whenever he's off the work hours, he gets a buff of 120%. So he's given 20% of power during his work hours, but he did that to receive a 20% boost on his off work hours. This goes the same for twins. This is why twins are hated within the Zenin clan because if you're born a twin, your power is halved. Because when you're born a twin, you're considered one entity. Yeah, treated as one individual. And if there's a limited amount of things to give, if you're treated as one person, whatever is given whatever is given is divided by two. So Maki, having the same heavenly restriction as Toji, couldn't reach the same physical prowess as Toji because half of her potential was given to Mai. And it wasn't until the death of Mai where now she could receive the full benefits of what would be given to a single individual, all for herself, which is why she was able to gain the physical prowess of Toji. And obviously, because she was able to get the physical prowess of Toji, she was able to defeat Naoya. So all of this makes sense. It's all stated in the narrative. There's nothing BS about it. There's no real ass pull about it. It all makes sense to what has been introduced within season 1 and 2 of the anime.
She knows how to use this. I don't believe it's been less than an hour, and she already knows how to use its full capabilities, and she's just railing him.
Again, learn its full. It's not a cursed technique. It's not something that needs to be practiced. It is physical prowess. She has gotten faster and stronger. She hasn't unlocked the precog yet, like Toji has. That happens later in the series, but she has the physical prowess. Maki has always been physically talented. Even before Mai's death, she was still considered a grade 1 sorcerer just based off of her fighting capabilities and her cursed tools without the super OP Toji heavenly restriction buff. So once she gained the buff, she already had the combat prowess. She could immediately utilize her full combat potential within that form, minus the precog, of course. This makes sense.
Now you use his special ability, Time Moon Palace, but that shit does not work at all.
It did work. She got caught in his technique multiple times. She had to keep counting 1, 2, 3 until she found out how many frames that he was utilizing. And then once she found that out, she moved to the number of frames that she had to move in order to not get locked. And then she was able to beat him that way. It's just because Naoya couldn't really damage this extremely, well, not damage sufficiently enough to beat her before Maki figured out how to counteract his curse technique, and then she won. So that, again, Maki just was a better fighter. She was more tactically inclined. She was stronger. She was faster, and she was strategic in order to find out the weakness to his curse technique.
His face smashed. Okay, he gets his face smashed. Then Maki doesn't even kill him. Maki does not even kill him. What happens? Maki's mother is the one that kills Naoya.
Yeah, Maki doesn't kill Naoya. Maki essentially kills everyone in the Zenin clan. I believe it's because she thought she killed him there. And then Maki went on to slaughter the rest of the Zenin clan. She even killed her mother. As you can see, she has her throat slit. But, of course, Maki's mother, also being a woman, also has grown massive resentment for Naoya, the embodiment of all of the worst things in the Zenin clan. And right before her death, she made sure to get her get back. She managed, so, but it's not narratively important. In fact, although I disagree with it, Gege wanted Naoya to come back as a cursed spirit, and having him die to a non-cursed object was a way to make this happen.
If you really want him to be a villain, okay, we get it. At least have a good enough reason. Because all this arc did was show that Maki was a mass murdering killer that just went off and killed her whole clan. Okay, what would have been a good explanation was her doing it for Megami. Well, she didn't do it for Megami. Megami's the head of Zenin clan. Also, Megami's a bitch. Why would Megami allow this to happen?
Okay, a lot of points that make no sense. Why did Maki kill the Zenin clan? I don't know how many times I should go over this in a single video. The Zenin clan were very prejudiced against her and her sister. Her father and her mother hated her. Her father tried to kill her. Obviously, she had deep resentment and she finished them off. he said that it would have been better if Megami told her to kill the Zenny clan. Why would that have been better? Megami has no beef with the Zenny clan. He doesn't know about his father. He doesn't know what they did to Toji. He was raised, well, he was raised alone for until he was like 5 years old, and then he lives with Gojo for the rest of his life. He doesn't care. And why did Megami let Maki kill the Zenny clan? He didn't. The plan was never for Maki to kill the Zenny clan. Megami, now being the leader of the Zenny clan, gave Maki permission to go acquire the cursed tools, and they tried to stop her. And whatever she did after the fact was not written in the playbook. All Megami said was, I'm giving you permission to get the cursed tools, go get them. It's not like he told her or he was there observing her and just allowed it to happen. It's very, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know why you would say this.
We have Naoya, and Gege really couldn't give him the benefit of the doubt. And then all he did was just make Naoya scream on the floor and make him pathetic like he's Eren from 139. And this is how
Naoya is pathetic. Naoya is entitled. He is entitled because of the traditions that he was raised under. He always believed that he deserved everything. He deserved to be the strongest. He deserved to be the leader of the Zenny clan. When things don't go his way, that's when his patheticness show up. That is why he is depicted in that way, because that was always how he was meant to be depicted.
One thing that I love in animes is when characters have mentors, right? Look at Jiraiya and Naruto, even Sasuke and Boruto, right? They have these mentors that teach them great things. They're always by their sides, right? And when they usually die, what happens is the character will progress in a way that is something that I've never seen before. Look at when Jiraiya died and look at what happened to Naruto. Look at that character build up. For hundreds of chapters, that is what you call perfect build-up. Now, Maki has never even seen Toji. Probably once. Okay, yeah, once. And that was the former self of Toji. That wasn't even Toji. She saw Toji once, okay? The only comparison Maki really had towards Toji was having barely any curse.
Okay, he's going on and on. This is one of the dumbest things he's said so far. Essentially saying he likes masters because when they die, it gives a lot of character development and growth. Okay, and then he relates Jiraiya. Listen, he relates Jiraiya and Naruto's master-student dynamic to Toji and Maki? Toji and Maki do not have a student-master dynamic. Toji died I think Maki was a toddler. They never knew each other. It's not like they're related. They're in the same clan. They have the same last name. But then they don't have any connection like that. They don't have any connection of the sorts. His death wouldn't fuel Maki. Maki has no relation to Toji. The only relation that they have, as we stated earlier, is that heavenly restriction. It is a better example. It would be like, here's an actual better example. And it shows how crazy of a statement it was. It was like saying, look at Ashura, Hashirama, and Naruto. When Ashura died, Naruto didn't get any character development. He didn't get deeper. When Hashirama died, why didn't Naruto cry and have any character development and accomplish? Yes, they are related, as in they are all reincarnations of Ashura, and they have control of or destined for prophesized for greatness, but that doesn't mean that they have any relation or connection in a deep emotional way. The same way with Maki and Toji. Obviously, Maki isn't the reincarnation of Toji, but the heavenly restriction is a passed down technique which is randomized and landed upon Maki. They don't have a master-student dynamic. It is just a passing on to the next generation, like Ashura's reincarnation to Hashirama, and whatever was in between that, and Hashirama to Naruto. just because Hashirama died, I don't need to expect Naruto to get boosted. Naruto wasn't even alive at the time. Maki was a toddler with no relation. It's one of the dumbest comparisons I've ever heard in my life.
In order for Toji and Maki to become the same for some reason, Maki's sister needs to die. So Maki's sister, she sacrifices herself. Okay, that's all fair and well. And then now, I don't know how this even makes sense. Now Maki has no cursed energy. Wouldn't you think that Maki's sister dying means that Maki gets Maki's sister's power? And now
No, that is not what that means. We've talked about the give and take thing a little earlier, so I'm not going to repeat it again. But they were utilized as one individual. But just because they are seen as one individual in terms of the rules of cursed energy, it doesn't mean that they are the same person. They have their different curse techniques and everything. And he's saying, how does she now not have any cursed energy? She never did have cursed energy. That is why she needed the glasses, and that is why she needed the cursed weapons, because she doesn't have any cursed energy. She can't see curses. She can't utilize cursed energy. She has physical prowess, less so because Mai's alive, but she never did. When Mai dies, Mai, obviously being her own individual, has her own curse technique, but when she dies, it's not passed along. That's not how cursed energy works. It's not something that you can gift or take away. When Mai dies, her technique goes with her, but since Maki never had cursed energy, she just had more to take because now it's not divided amongst two people, which made her physically stronger.
Gege didn't want that. Gege wanted to completely take away all her cursed energy, so now she becomes like Toji. What is...
She never had cursed energy to begin with. Any that's so weird. That's like I'm making Naruto comparisons a lot, but I get it's because he made it. Whatever. That's like someone being in, saying like, oh, I watched all of Naruto. Oh, where are you right now? And they're like, oh, I'm in the pain arc. But Naruto uses the shadow clone thing so much, like he's never used it so much. What are you talking about? That was like the first episode, man. Ever since Maki was introduced and said like, oh, I can't. It's in the Zero movie. It goes a little bit more in depth. She can't see. She has no cursed energy. Zero. Nil.
You do know Toji went through years and years of torture because he had no cursed energy. That's what formed him to the person of who he was. That's why he wanted to mercilessly kill people. That's why he had that rage and anger within him. He didn't care.
No. Sorry, I'm interrupting him a lot here, but it just wrong thing after wrong thing. Toji didn't become like a mass murderer after he left the Zenin clan. Toji, he technically found a woman, but then she died. And then after that, he became a gambler. He didn't care about killing. The only reason he killed was because he was a paid assassin. He wanted to make a lot of money so he could kick back and live the easy life until he ran out of that money. And then he wasn't a mass murderer. He didn't go around killing for fun. The only person he did that with was reawakened Gojo. And even then, he considers that a mistake. That's a deviation from his actual life, from who he actually is.
Yeah. Years worth of torture. The shit he went through is something that nobody can imagine. And that's what made him who he was. No cursed energy, and he wanted to prove to people that no cursed energy means shit all. Right? Now, Maki, the only thing she went through was no hard training. Torture, maybe, her father, was kind of a prick to her.
Hold up. Okay. So Toji, a man with no cursed energy, had a torturous life. But Maki, a woman with no cursed energy in the Zenin clan, had a slightly torturous life, not too much, And also, what did he say? Maki had no training? guys, guys. You know what? You watching this video, you know what you should do? You should go and buy an armory. You should buy swords, nunchucks, spears, whatever weapons you can find, because you don't need any training to be proficient, a master in them. You don't have to. You just, according to Realist here, training for us for sword fighting. Who could that is comical. You don't have to train. That's an innate ability we all have, right? It's a stupid statement to say. Maki was she was upgraded to grade 1 sorceress before Mai's death. Before she had the physical strength and speed that Toji has. She was a grade 1 sorcerer, a master in weaponry, able to handle training Yuta, Panda. It was just, she is a master in fisticuffs and weapon fighting. Saying that she's never trained is worthless. In fact, she had to train harder because she didn't have cursed energy, and she didn't have that physical prowess that she had later on after Mai's death. What a crazy statement. What a crazy statement.
People love to try and compare Chainsaw Man to JJK. Well, at least to see, because first we got
Okay, here's one thing I want to say. This is another theory I have. Well, obviously my first one being that he actually hasn't read JJK, but the second one, it was a comment I saw. And when you look on his channel, there's a lot of JJK hate, but a lot of Chainsaw Man meat riding. And my second theory is that he has a bias or an unnatural hating for JJK because JJK did kind of steal the spotlight in terms of like popular shows, especially because I believe Chainsaw Man was airing at the same time. But JJK was the show that became all the rage. And obviously him being a massive Chainsaw fan, developed this seething hatred for the show that stole the spotlight for what he believed should have been greater. I've never watched Chainsaw Man, so I can't speak on this. But it's important to note a very distinct difference here. One is how I previously stated that when he makes comments on the story of JJK, it almost appears as if he is it doesn't have comprehension of like writing or storytelling or anything. But after his little statement here, I don't believe that to be the case. Again, I haven't watched Chainsaw Man, but based on how he was talking about it, he did seem to give a level of deeper. He just analyzed the subtext. He put in his own 2 cents about the topic. He tied the connective through lines, and it shows much more love, a much more appreciation, a much more literacy comprehension within Chainsaw Man that he never provides in JJK. Like, you don't need any literacy comprehension to know that Maki and Toji do not have a student-teacher dynamic. So that's why I'm going to posit the notion that not only has he not read JJK, but he actively goes out of his way to close his eyes when trying to analyze whatever bits and pieces of the story he's seen. But when he cares for a story and wants to, give it the best light possible, he will look at it as if he was an English teacher, like reading into the subtext, reading into like when dissecting the poetry of the iambic pentameter, whatever. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting to see this.
And what does Gege do here? Instant power up. Instant power up. No explanation. Just instant power up. Now.
Yeah, see what I mean? That's even reading bits and pieces of the story, which I assume he does. He looks like at little clips or little single panels. Even reading it that way, you can understand that there's so much more behind just magic. Boom, stronger. And so and the fact that he put them like right next to each other, why would you even give yourself away like that?
And then to even further this, Maki is given Toji's weapons. Now this is so bullshit.
Okay, he makes a note here. Yeah, he makes a note here that they're not the same. This is the weapon that Mike created before her death. This is a totally different. They look the same. They're not the same weapon. But he corrected himself in editing once he realized that. Okay, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But it's good to see him take at least some accountability.
The only thing Gege could do right is make Maki dress the same as Toji, and make Maki stand like Toji, and make Maki say dumb shit that is equally as fucking worse than what this cool shit Toji says. And then there we go. We have a Toji hybrid that has a bullshit power.
Whoa! What did he just say? He said that Maki says equally stupid stuff that Toji says when he tries to sound cool. Are we reading the same story? Toji is one of the top 3 characters within JJK. He is one of the coolest things. Every statement he says lands. Watch the show. You cannot watch the show and tell me that Toji isn't the coolest character in the entire show. Oh my god. Oh, save me.
Although he does become kind of ass in calling games, but let me not get to that.
This guy, I agree with this guy. He makes what he said before I didn't. There's not much. I'm just going to repeat things I've said in the past. But yeah, Naya's character does take a nosedive when he comes back as a curse. Like I said earlier, I don't think Naya needed to come back as a curse in order for Maki to reawaken. I think anyone could have done it. Maybe there was a little bit of storytelling in a way that in order for Maki to reach her full potential, that it had to be against a Zenin, or the embodiment of the Zenin. Yeah, maybe I could see that way. Maybe I could. Maybe I'm just not reading into it, but I'm not sure. I also think that Naya, human form Naya, is much more compelling than curse form Naya.
First of all, I couldn't even get myself to be this emotional about Mai dying because this show barely fleshes out their characters until the very last minute, which is some lazy ass shit. Like, they did flesh the dynamic of the 2 sisters back in the training arc when everyone was trying to hunt down Yuji, but other than that, they never go back to their characters. So honestly, I don't understand how I'm supposed to be so emotional for these 2 characters. I mean,
this is gonna sound a little. This is gonna sound a little weird. He is right. Their story, obviously, JJK, very fast paced. It gives you the things you need to know, and then you better take it and then get back on the train because we're going to the next station. It's very fast. You need to pick up on things very quickly, and because of that, there's a lot of connections that can be missed if you're not paying close attention, or you have to like really reread it a couple times to kind of fit the pieces yourself. Everything's not spoon-fed. And in a story, sometimes things need to be spoon-fed. Sometimes you need to take time to build connections all that way. This is one of the connections that hadn't been fully built. All we know is that they were sisters, had a familiar relation, had a little bit of tension, but sisters, they care about each other, tension, whatever, right? At face value, I would have agreed with this. Assessment is good. Anyone else who has said this, I would agree. But no on anyone else. Because I reviewed their previous video on JJK is overrated and trash, and they gave this same criticism to Gojo and Geto. Yeah, Gojo and Geto. They said the same thing. They were like, I can't understand the emotional connection between Gojo not being able to kill Geto, but then being able to kill Geto, and then still like having friendly relations with Geto after his death. You know, and it's like, oh, I can't understand that. It's like, for Maki and Mai, I could understand. But for Gojo and Geto, their relationship is dwelled into very deeply. You are given everything you need to know for the mind state of Gojo and his relationship and his love for Geto for the rest of the story. Which is why when I see a criticism like this from him now, it's kind of like the boy who cried wolf. You cry wolf too many times over scenes that don't really matter, when you really do reach a scene that your criticism is valid for, it takes away the impact of that criticism. So this is why when he says it, I don't believe it as much as if someone else with a better credibility had said it to me. I would agree. I would agree. I would just flat out agree. Otherwise.
Shit, Maki didn't do shit in the Shibuya arc. All she did was get her ass flamed up by Jogo, and somehow was the only one who survived that shit because of bullshit plot armor. And as for Maki,
okay, this is what I mean. They didn't watch the show because Jogo flamed 3 people in that station, or in that room. One being the leader of the Zenin clan who died. Second being Nanami, and the third being Mai. And only one of those people died. It wasn't just Maki who survived. Nanami also survived. Did Nanami have plot armor? No. Nanami died to Mahito right after the fact. So, Mai didn't survive to some weird plot armor. Nanami survived as well.
Second of all, I can't even feel an emotional attachment to this poignant scene of Mai sacrificing her life for Maki because it's a bullshit ass pull that came out of absolutely nowhere.
Things don't... Okay. I understand, but I don't. I don't agree with this criticism. Things don't need to be explained in the first episode. I refuse to believe it. And honestly, things don't even need to be... Things can be explained in the moment and make perfect sense for us. We can relate and digest information as we're watching things happen on screen. This is just one of those instances. Kind of like when techniques are explained, when they actually utilize them. I see this in the same way. I don't have to know someone's technique, the intricacies of every single technique before they get into a fight. It can be explained as it's happening. And this is one of those instances. If you knew this instant you met Mai and Maki, would it really have changed your mind? Probably not. It sounds like you already had a conclusion that you made up, and you're sticking with this conclusion, and you're just finding pieces that fit into the preset conclusion you already had.
Third of all, why the fuck is Mai kissing her own sister on the lips as she says goodbye? It's like, I'm reading this...
Okay. It's been a while since I read this. If I remember properly, I think it's either directly CPR or like an allegory for CPR. I don't remember. It's been a while. But essentially, it's the giving life thing. It's an allegory to see. I think it actually said it. Oh my god! I wish I should have probably reread it. But I believe this is CPR or an allegory for CPR. It is blowing life into Maki to bring her back to life, essentially, which she does. She does. Maki survives. Maki becomes that, and it's at the expense of Mai's life. I think there's also a statement from Gege that also confirms the CPR kind of implications.
Also, let me just talk about Maki and how she is such a piece of shit. Like, damn, did you really have to kill the entire clan? God damn, she is so evil. She makes Itachi look like a saint. Why is it necessary to kill everyone in the clan? Did you even know all of them? What did they even do to you? And
what did they even do to you, Maki? What did they even do to you? I could repeat this for the millionth time, but you've gotten the point. They tortured Toji when he was a child because he had no cursed energy and he was a man. Maki, not only not having cursed technique, not only being a woman, but being a twin and having her own father try to kill her and her mother hate her. It's... what else can I say? I don't know what else to say. I implore you to read the story whenever you get the opportunity to. You should, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you, man. I'm just going to keep repeating myself at this point. I don't know what else to say. It sounds mean because I've said it a lot of times, but reading the story answers so many of these questions that you have. Okay. That's the video. Again, I was very rude, I think, in this video. But to be fair, I think all my arguments and my positive notions are justified. I think I have enough. Not enough. There can always be more evidence, but I think I've gone over their beliefs, why their opinions for the most part are wrong, or they just have factual inaccuracies, or they just don't actually know what is actually going on, and they're just kind of making it up as they go along. Maki isn't terrible. Maki's character is shown very early in the series. She can be rude and very strong at times, but she also has a deep sense of caring and love for her friends and has a semblance of her humanity. It's implied later in the story when Yuto is the only one to give away his humanity in his fight against Sukuna. And Maki's goated. She is not a Toji copycat. Of course, if you think that the only similarities that they have is the heavenly restriction. Other than that, they're not similar in the slightest. But other than that, that's really all I have for you today. Again, although I was rude to them, go show some support. I guess I'll be nice. Go like and subscribe. But that's all I have for you today. Comment below, what you think, whatever. If you made it this far, thank you so much. Actually, it does mean a lot to me. But with all that out the way, I hope you all have a great day and peace out.